Hey guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today we are back with another Resurrection Shadow Day. I've said this before, but I'm really loving doing these Resurrection Shadow Days because I'm able to rediscover a lot of palettes in my collection that I haven't touched sometimes in years. So I'm very excited about continuing to do this series, and I'm excited about what we have today. So today is a very special palette that was all the rage a couple years ago. So if you want to see what this weekend's Resurrection Shadow Day palette is, then just keep watching because we're going to get into it. Okay guys, what is our palette this weekend? Let me go ahead and show you. Oh my gosh, you guys remember this? This is the Maschino and Sephora Teddy Bear palette and subsequent collection that came along with it. Now this is the only thing that I got from it, and when these sold, they sold like hotcakes. I think they restocked it once, maybe twice, in kind of limited qualities. I think they might have actually just been kind of like returns from people or something like that, but this was all the rage. Now this is a pain to store. As you can tell, it's nice and flat, but it is a freaking bear. So this is something that really is best kind of out and about instead of inside of a drawer, because it just takes up so much space and nothing else can really be stored on top of it or anything like that, because of the size and shape of it. So when you got the palette, it opened up very cutely, and it was just do 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 do. As you can see, we do have a mirror right here. It's a full mirror. It's a bear size, so that's cute. And then what we have right here is the actual palette itself. I'm trying not to blind you guys too much, but this is the palette. Very cute, very adorable. I'm going to turn it over now the other way so that you guys can see it more clearly. So this right here is a palette. I thought that the color scheme of this was really nice. I thought you had your warm tones, you had kind of your purplies, your blues. I thought that this was a very nice, if you're going to do a collection like this and a collection palette like this is kind of the color story that I thought was fitting. It wasn't too nude, it wasn't too quote unquote boring, it wasn't too pop of blue. It kind of just had a nice realm of shades to it that really fit together, or they fit together alone, kind of in their own little like quadrants of blues, purples, browns, things like that. So I really like this palette and enjoy it, and so we're going to get into it. So this palette came out in 2017, the fall of 2017, so it is quite a bit old. That is what, 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 years old. So I have not used this palette in quite some time, and I think in total I only used this palette maybe 2 or 3 times, which I know is just abysmally sad, but it is what it is. We're here now, and we're going to give it a try. So I have my color switch on hand, of course. I have my brushes on hand, and we're going to get into it. I'm not going to swatch everything because there is just a lot of shades. As you guys know, your girl does not have arm hang time like that. So I'm not going to go into that, but we are going to go ahead and get started with the look. So I kind of really wanted to do a purple look. It has some nice burgundy colors that could really be used for fall. So I'm actually also kind of wanting to do a look like that because, you know, it is fall time, it is spooky season. Kind of want to keep it with the realm and theme of things of what I think fall is. And the top half of this palette, which when you guys see is the bottom half, this half right here, to me really is kind of fall-y with the burgundies, the cranberries, the kind of warm browns. I think that it is a nice fall-esque palette. So I think I want to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to, this may be difficult for me to put up. I'm going to put the picture up somewhere around here so you guys can see it. But because it is a bear shaped palette, it may be kind of hard to see when I indicate what shade I'm using. But nonetheless, I'm going to put it up there, and then I'll try to write the color down below so you guys can see it in case you have this palette and you're looking for some looks. Also, this is no longer clearly available, but you can get it on some third-party sites. You can get it on Mercari, Poshmark, eBay, things like that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in with the color Clay first. And this is just kind of a rose color. And we're just going to start like this. And when this palette came out, I thought it was absolutely adorable. And I remember I used to call it Maschino. I used to call it something like Marciano. It was something weird that I used to call this palette all the time instead of Maschino. I think it was Maschino because I had no idea how to pronounce Maschino. But I really enjoy just the aesthetic look of this palette. I had only ever seen this brand in perfumes, and I do have They're a bear perfume. They have a perfume that's in the shape of a bear. It's so cute, and it actually smells really, really great. And so that's where I kind of knew them from. I knew that I believe they're a fashion house, because I'd seen, I think it was a windbreaker that kind of looked like the Tommy Hilfiger windbreakers that you kind of pull over on your head, and they have like the big pocket in the front. You remember those ones that used to be like navy blue and yellow, Tommy Hilfiger back in the day, or I'm sorry, Nautica back in the day. And then Tommy had the blue, red, and white ones. I had seen a white one from Maschino, and so I knew that they had done some fashion. I knew that they had done fragrance, but I really didn't know anything else about them. I still don't. But I really like this palette. I thought it was really cute. I think they also had a subsequent collection that was like laptop inspired and pens and pencils, because I think that Teresa's dad really, really loves that freaking laptop palette. To me, that was way too big. It just wasn't as cute as the bear palette, so I didn't get it. Next, we're going to go ahead and we are going to go in with the color Mesmerized, and we're going to still use the same brush. This is quite a powdery palette, so you know, be wary of that if you are going to A, get it from third-party sites, or B, if you have it and maybe just haven't used it quite so much, it is quite powdery. So if you don't like powder, then clearly that would have been a problem. If you don't mind powder because it is a powder product, then it's really just not a problem, because it is what it is. It's a powder product. So put that on like that just to kind of deepen things up just a little bit. Really, really liking this. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use the same brush again, but I'm going to take my color switch. I'm trying to like set this palette down, but I keep getting like eyeshadow in my eyes because it's so freaking powdery. Okay, and we're going to take the color Barely Bare. How cute is that? And this is just kind of like a mid-tone brown, and we're just going to use this as a brow bone and kind of top of the eye color, just to kind of blend everything out, and also to give a little bit of a brow bone pop, kind of a 2-for-1 deal. You guys know how I like to multitask, make things easy on yourself, multitask where you can. But I think these shadows are blending out nicely. Doing this series, I have really realized that there was a lot of really great shadows that came out that really stand the test of time, and surprisingly, they are still very pigmented. They're still very blendable. These blend beautifully. Every time I've used this palette, it has blended absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what formula this was that Sephora used, but this was a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. It's beautiful. So now we're going to go in with the color yeah, it's going to the color Fantasy. And we're going to see if we can do a little bit of a halo spotlight eye action going on here. So I want to put a little bit of it out here in the outer corner. Just kind of blow it out a bit, keep it slightly pigmented, but also blow it out. Now, I think that this palette, if it was released today for fall 2021, I think that this would have sold beautifully. Not just because the packaging is cute, even though it is big and bulky. We do tend to like things that are cute, but I think that just the color story really, when I look at it, it was slightly ahead of its time. All the colors that we're seeing in this palette, we have seen over the past year. The purples, the maroons, the wines, the burgundies, the blues, the golds. We've seen all of this over the last year and since 2017, really in heavy rotation. And so I think that if this palette were to be released today, it really would still sell. I think it would sell wonderfully, because it really, in my eyes, kind of predicted what the trends coming up would be, with this kind of color palette. And so I think if you have this, it would have been a palette that stood the test of time for you as far as being able to wear it. So if you were somebody who didn't have a massive collection, but splurged and got this palette, because I think it was maybe like $45 or $54, and you still have it, it would have been a nice addition to your collection, because it would have been wearable year after year after year, because the color story really was indicative of what was going to be coming out. And as you can see, it really has held up over the test of time. So I don't think you would have had any problem as far as quality of shadow and such. So I really, really, really am liking this. I think that this is a very, very nice look. So since we are here, let's go ahead and let's do our under eye. We're going to take our LMR Cosmetics, just kind of flat, looks kind of like a painter's brush. We're going to take this and we're going to do the under eye. Now, because we didn't do the purple, but I had wanted to do the purple, I think what we're going to do is, should we get a little freaky with it or what? Ooh. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a little freaky with it, and I'm going to go in with Twilight Blue. Twilight Blue is a gorgeous blue color, kind of like aqua-y, and we're going to put this right up against the lash line in this outer third. This is a beautiful, beautiful color. Really like this, and putting color, whether it's a liner or whether it's from powder on your bottom lash, is such a nice way to put a pop of color in. So you can do like a nice kind of, not even a neutral look, because this cranberry is not neutral per se, but you can do a nice kind of wearable look. And then if you wanted to go out and have a little fun, you could come home, pop a little color in the lash line with a eyeliner or with some shadow, and you're good to go. You don't have to do a bold, colorful look in order to have that bold, colorful feel. You can just pop it in your inner corner, pop it in your lower lash line, and you're good to go. So don't feel like if a palette is colorful, think like, oh man, what do I do with that? Because I like the color, but I'm not willing to wear this blue on my entire lid. That's okay. You don't have to. You can just pop it on the lower lash line again, pop it in the inner corner. You're good to go. Do it as a upper lash line liner. You really can find ways to work color in if you're just easing yourself into color. So if you're afraid of the colorful palette, this is me telling you, buy the colorful palette. Trust me, you can find 1,000 ways to work with it that don't include you having to do a full colorful look. That might be a little out of your realm right now. So take the chance, buy the palette. The inner third, what we're going to do is we're going to use this color called Prairie Flower. It's this gorgeous kind of ultraviolet purple. And I just want to use these colors because I didn't get to use them on the lid, but I still wanted to find a way to use them. I really hate doing kind of liners though, because I hate the looks that I end up doing, like the facial expressions. They're a little much. Fantastical. Okay. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in with this random kind of flat shader brush from Luxie. It's a 239. And we're going to just buff that out. And the color we're going to buff it out with is, let's buff it out. Let's do a little, tough. Let's go ahead and buff it out with Deep Sea. Deep Sea is a blue. Never buffed anything out with blue before, so let me tap some of this off. There you go. So Deep Sea, like I said, is a blue. And I'm assuming when it is down here, it's going to look kind of like a gray-y blue, which it does. After this, I'm going to go back with a fluffy brush, kind of blend it and smooth it out a little bit more, because like I said, I've never blended with blue before, but it is kind of a bold thing to do, and I want to make sure that it is buffed appropriately. So this is just a clean brush. I'm just going to kind of blend it like this and see where we're at with it. Makeup is fun because it's all about just trying things out. Like, don't take it too seriously. Just all about trying things out. So I think the blending with the blue underneath the eye might have been a little bit much, but that's okay. That's all right. Let's go ahead and see if we can fix it or if we're going to make it worse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the color Moon Dust, which is a purple, and we're going to now take this and blend it under here. I'm going to see if we can kind of keep the blue, because I do like it, but I don't know if blue itself was best to blend completely underneath the eye. It may have been just a little too much for me in the moment. Okay. So I am liking the way that this is looking. So I think that we kind of saved it, brought it back together. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our spotlight look. So I think for this one, we're going to use this color called Pennies from Heaven. And this is a really nice kind of pinky coppery. This almost looks like the color that's in the, oh my god, it's my favorite palette from Colourpop. I do not know why I cannot think of it. But it looks like color it's in Colourpop. That is a Super Shock Shadow. Oh my gosh. What is that stupid palette called? It's the one that has like the, it's pink, it has a girl face. I'll have to put the name of it on screen so you guys can know what it is I'm talking about. But it looks like a shadow that's in there. I really like that. I think this is just really super pretty. And I think simplistic. Like I said, you don't have to go in with any color on the bottom lash if you don't want to. So this could have just stayed like this and could have been just like a nice cranberry, goldy, peachy fall look. Or you could have done like me and just jazzed it up a bit with some other colors. So I'm really, really liking this. I think this is very pretty. Put a little more up here because as you guys know I put a little in the crease because I do have a hooded eye. We're going to do our JH30. You guys know that this is my ride or die as far as blending shadows, just to make sure that they are good to go Joe. Just like to make sure that they have a nice blend to it at the top. Very good, very nice. And then since we're here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in with our inner corner highlight. We'll take just a small domed brush from Colourpop, and we're going to go in with Fort Knox. Subsequently, I used to live there as a kid. And it is beautiful as a base, and it is beautiful, the town. So it's in Hardin County, I believe. It's right next to Radcliffe and E-Town, Louisville, not next to Louisville, but you can get to Louisville, but really E-Town and Radcliffe are the two kind of towns that I went to the most that bordered the base. Those were good years. We lost a little here, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off and then go back into our fantasy color. Put a little here because my finger got a little wild with the inner corner highlight. I want to make sure we don't lose the color that we have right there. Perfect, perfect. Liking it. Awesome. So we use, oh, I'm lost now with the color shades. We use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential shades, 9 potential shades out of the palette. So I think that's a good amount. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do my liner. I'm going to do my lashes. I'm going to come back. We're going to chat about the palette. We're going to see the final look, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So give me 2.2 seconds, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I'm back. I have my liner, my lashes on, and we are ready to talk. So first things first, the upper lash line, what I used was the color Magic from the palette itself. So I did use just a powder to line in black on my upper lash line. I decided that I thought maybe a liquid liner would be a little too much and a gel liner would be a little too much, but I really wanted to do the shadow as a liner. I've been really into that lately. For the lower lash line, the waterline, what I used was the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in Catsuit. It is green. I just wanted to continue bringing the pop with the blue underneath there, and I think that it really did a nice job of doing that. For the lashes, I have my, of course, my KVD. This is my Epic Curl eyelash primer. This is in black. It does look gray. This is amazing. This is the best eyelash primer I've ever used. Usually eyelash primers, one, are clear or aka white, and when you put them on, they make your eyelashes crunchy, so you have to work fast to get your eyelash mascara on there. Otherwise, it's going to be very spidery. This coats the lashes, but it doesn't let them get crunchy. They stay very flexible, and I really like that because then when I use my mascara, I don't like you call it lashes. When I use my mascara, it allows it to glide through and not be crunchy, not be spidery, not be flaky. Very nice. So the mascara that I used, again, was the hashtag Give Them Lala. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and thus far this has been very nice. I do really enjoy the wand. I think it's a nice size. It's not too big, it's not too small, and the formula isn't too liquidy and it isn't too dry. It's like a perfect medium, almost like you've had it for 2 weeks type of formula. So I'm really, really liking it. And I like the combination because I feel like it is not making me feel like I need to wear lashes for things, because although I do enjoy lashes, I really do hate fuss. I really do hate muss. It's a whole thing. I don't really like to be able to feel the lashes, so I do like mascaras that can make it look like I have lashes, because I don't really wear dramatic lashes anyway. I wear wispies, so they end up looking like my lashes, and they just help to make it look a little fuller. So in uniform, and that's really like what I like the lashes for, is uniformity. But I don't like to see the lash band. I don't like how lashes look like lashes. So if I can accomplish something closer with mascara, that makes me happy. So let me scoot in a little more. So this is the look we have. This is what we were able to create with this gorgeous palette. I have to say, I really like it. I really think that it's a pretty look, and I think that it is giving you fall, but it's giving you almost like transition. So if we were going from the end of summer into fall, I think it's giving you very beginning of September through mid-October vibes, because you have kind of the goldy, you have some of the maroon, some of the wine, and then you have some of the pops of green and blue at the bottom, just to still tie it in. It's not getting too heavy, too grungy quite yet, with the greens, the deeper greens, and things like that, the heavy browns, the yellows. It's kind of a nice transition, and I also think that this would be a nice look for the spring or the summer or any other time. So I'm very excited about the palette. I am very surprised at its performance still, especially because it was a collaboration with Sephora. I know a lot of times when Sephora does collaborations with things like Coach or anything like that, you're kind of like leery about the quality of things. And I can say 4 years later, the quality is still fantastic. The shadows, as you guys saw, they performed well. They literally like blended themselves. Again, I don't know what formula Sephora used with that palette, but it was a really nice one. And I'm definitely going to put it back in my rotation, because it is a very nice performing palette. I might even potentially declutter some palettes, because that has a lot of the shades in it that some of the other palettes I have don't need, and I think it performs better than some of the newer palettes that I have. So again, this is the look. Get into it. Do you love it? I love it. So guys, when this palette came out, did you get this palette? If so, let me know in the comment section down below. Was it one of your FOMOs? Did you wish you would have gotten the palette? How do you feel about it now, seeing it kind of live and in action 4 years later? Tell me your thoughts, your feelings. Do you have any looks that you've done on it? I would love, love, love to see them. And tell me, how are you guys feeling about Resurrection Shadowday? Again, I'm really loving it, because I am so excited that I am rediscovering palettes that literally have just sat in my drawers and not being used, and pleasantly surprised that thus far, really discovering that they are still really great quality. I hadn't thought about it at first, but I think that this is really going to help me determine what palettes I also keep, because I may run into some palettes that are old, don't have good quality, I don't love the color story anymore, and it will make it easier for me to start getting rid of palettes if I'm reusing them, instead of just keeping them in a drawer and forgetting that I have them. So let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section down below. If you guys have any palettes you'd like me to resurrect, let me know, because I probably do have them in my collection. If I don't, I might have something close to it that I could do, but let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my new videos. If you have not already, head on over to Instagram. Follow me at Londyn Brielle so you can see what I do when I'm not here with you on the YouTubes. And guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I love you. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope you're getting into fall festivities. And until next time, I love you. I miss you. And I will see you on the flip side. I love you guys. Bye.